The Thing That Woke Me Up. Part 13, The Choice. You Must Choose. The words echoed across the impossible forest, not through the air, through me, through every memory, every dream, every nightmare. The figure stood between Granddad and the giant thing wearing my face, motionless, waiting. For the first time in my life, it wasn't watching me. It wasn't chasing me. It wasn't standing in the distance. It was speaking to me. The giant smiled. The sky cracked wider. Entire sections of reality broke apart overhead. Beyond the fractures, I could see things moving. Shapes, worlds, places, other forests, other houses, other bedrooms, other versions of my life. Thousands of them, maybe millions. The giant's voice flooded my head. You finally understand. I couldn't move, couldn't think. The pressure inside my skull felt unbearable. What are you? The giant laughed. The sound wasn't cruel. That somehow made it worse. It sounded familiar, comfortable, like hearing my own voice played back through an old recording. The giant tilted its head. I asked that same question once. A cold chill ran through me. The forest shook violently. Granddad stepped forward. Don't listen to it. The giant immediately stopped smiling. The temperature dropped. The sky darkened. Every tree bent away from the massive creature as if terrified of its presence. Then the giant looked at Granddad, and I saw something I never thought possible. Hatred, pure hatred. You. The word shook the world. Granddad's face hardened. The giant took a step forward. Reality screamed, not metaphorically, actually screamed. The air itself produced a horrible sound. Like metal tearing, like glass breaking, like a living thing in agony. The figure immediately moved, blocking the giant's path. The two entities stared at one another, ancient enemies, neither willing to back down. And suddenly I understood something. This wasn't the first time they'd met, not even close. This fight had happened before, over and over, for generations, maybe longer. The giant turned back toward me. Dylan. The sound of my name felt wrong, like hearing it spoken by something that owned it. You want answers? I swallowed hard. Yes. The giant nodded. Then look. Everything exploded. The forest vanished. The sky vanished. Granddad vanished. The figure vanished. I found myself standing somewhere else. A small bedroom. Moonlight spilled through the window. A little boy slept beneath a blanket. 8 years old, maybe 9. My heart stopped. It was me. The giant's voice echoed around me. Watch. The bedroom door slowly opened. A tall figure entered. The figure, the same hollow eyes, the same impossible shape. It approached the bed. The child remained asleep. The figure stopped beside him. Then something impossible happened. It reached down and gently placed its hand on the boy's forehead, not violently, not threateningly, almost protectively. Then it vanished. The scene changed. Another bedroom, another child, different decade, different house, a different little boy sleeping beneath blankets. My pulse quickened and I recognized him. My father, young. The figure stood beside his bed too, watching, waiting, protecting. The scene shifted again. Another bedroom, another child. This time I immediately recognized Granddad, young, terrified, crying in his sleep. The figure stood beside him too. Guarding, always guarding. The giant's voice returned. It was never hunting your family. My stomach twisted. Every memory I'd ever had suddenly felt wrong. Every assumption, every fear, every nightmare. What is it? The giant smiled sadly. The jailer. The world changed again. Darkness swallowed everything. Then came the doors. Millions of them. Infinite, stretching beyond imagination. This time they were all closed, locked. Chains wrapped around them, massive black chains, each chain connected to the figure. The giant continued speaking. The lock. I remembered Granddad's words. The figure is the lock. My chest tightened. The giant raised one massive hand. One of the doors suddenly shook. Something screamed behind it. A terrible sound. Inhuman. Ancient. Hungry. Then another door shook. And another. And another. Soon thousands of doors rattled. The screaming became deafening. My blood ran cold. What are they? The giant's expression darkened. For the first time, genuine fear appeared in its eyes. Not fear of the figure, fear of the things behind the doors. The realization terrified me. If this thing feared them, then what exactly were they? The giant slowly looked away. Us. The word shattered my mind. The doors exploded open, and not all of them, just enough. Shapes emerged, countless shapes, some human, some not, some impossible to describe, millions of eyes, millions of mouths, millions of hands reaching from the darkness, each one screaming, each one trying to escape. The figure appeared, standing before them all, alone, the lock, the guardian, the thing that had spent centuries keeping them trapped. Then I saw something that made my heart stop. One of the creatures emerging from the darkness looked exactly like me. Another looked like my father. Another looked like Granddad. Another looked like my brother. Thousands more wore faces I recognized. Family, generations of family, the giant spoke quietly. They all made the same choice. My chest tightened. What choice? The giant stared directly into my eyes, the same face, the same smile. The choice you're about to make. The world shattered again. I was back in the forest, back with Granddad, back with the figure, back with the giant. Everything looked unstable now, reality tearing apart around us. The giant stepped closer, the figure stepped closer, both focused entirely on me, the choice. Everything came back to the choice. Granddad grabbed my shoulders. His hands trembled. Dylan, listen to me. I've never seen fear in a man's eyes the way I saw it then. Not fear for himself, fear for me. They'll tell you whatever you want to hear. The giant laughed. Granddad ignored it. They'll show you answers. The giant smiled. They'll show you family. The sky cracked wider. The giant nodded. Granddad squeezed harder. But they are not your family anymore. Silence. The giant's smile vanished. The figure remained motionless, waiting. The forest shook. The doors overhead began opening again. One by one, a terrible wind swept through reality. Granddad looked toward the giant, and then toward the figure, then back at me, and his next words nearly stopped my heart. Dylan. His voice broke. I made the wrong choice. The world froze. Everything stopped. The wind, the doors, the giant, the figure, and everything. I stared at him. What? Tears filled his eyes, real tears, the first I'd ever seen. I chose them. My blood turned to ice. The giant smiled. The figure lowered its head, and somewhere above us, a door slowly began opening, a door larger than all the others, far larger, impossible in size. The darkness behind it felt endless, ancient, hungry, waiting. Granddad slowly looked upward. Absolute horror spread across his face. The giant began backing away. For the first time, the figure stepped backward, too. Even the lock was retreating. Every instinct screamed that something worse was coming, something neither side wanted unleashed, something that terrified them all. Then a hand emerged from the massive doorway, a familiar hand, human, weathered, scarred, the hand of an old man. My stomach dropped, slowly, very slowly. A second, Granddad stepped out of the darkness and smiled at me.